big house here today. I want to welcome our guest, Mr. Jeff Welker. He is a current history teacher at Roxana High School and well loved by a lot of the students there. They love to take his course. Jeff is a graduate of East Alton Wood River. He has, is that 1967, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to say that was the year I was born.
Oh. No, don't say that.
I'm sorry. I thought that was a misprint on your email. He's a grad. I'm sorry. I'm in no
That's the way to treat your guests.
He's already here now.
He's a graduate at SIUE in 1975. He's been teaching for 33 years at Roxana High School. He teaches the Holocaust Studies, the Colonial Civil War, Cold War, AP U.S. History, American Military, and Foreign Policy. Jeff's hobbies are weightlifting, reading history books, and going to historical places with his wife, Cindy. So, I would like to welcome Mr. Jeff Welker. Don't hold that against me now. These are all separate?
Yes. There's three pages. There's a test. There'll be a test at the end.
Oh, okay. The first stack is all together for one. Just pass one down. Did you pass the same one over here?
I won't hold that against you, Ron. When the two kids come through my class. As old as I am, I'll probably forget anyway. Before I get started today, let me just say it's an honor and a privilege to be here today to speak to you. Mr. Coons has been coming into my class for the last couple of years, presenting Rotary scholarship program to our students, and I've got to know him and share with him, and I want to say on behalf of the staff at Roxana High School, thank you for that program. It's a great program. Please continue doing it. You guys was talking about Ethan Stiverson. When I had Ethan his freshman year in football, and Ethan was a little bit different kind of a guy. And between his junior, senior year, he came to me and he said, Coach, he goes, I'm going to join the Marines. I said, that's fantastic. Whose Marines are you going to join? And he looked at me and he said, ours? I said, okay, that's good. That's good. Now, if you don't know Ethan, Ethan was not United States Marine Corps material, okay? And it was interesting to see Ethan come back in 13 weeks, a changed young man. Stood in front of my class with his dress uniform on, spoke to my class. Most of those kids had known him before he went into the Marine Corps, and they're just standing there, you know, looking at him with their mouth open, dumbfounded. 100% transformation. And came back a disciplined young man, came back a confident young man. As somebody pointed out, he is in Afghanistan right now serving, and keep him in your prayers. I know he'd appreciate it. As far as presenting today, I'm honored to be here representing Roxana High School's History Department, and every time I have an opportunity to speak about history, I will more likely jump at it. My topic today is Illinois and Missouri in the Civil War, and you have a 3-page handout there. I don't expect you to read it all, and there will not be a test afterwards. But just give you an outline. I conduct an adult Civil War class in either March or April the last 5 years. And the third year, after doing the Civil War 2 years, I thought, okay, I'll change topics. Let's do something like on the Spanish-American War. And I had people come in and say, no, we don't want to do the Spanish-American War. We want to do the Civil War. It is a subject that I think many people are fascinated with. It's such a broad topic, and I teach a class at school on the Civil War, and I have 18 weeks, and I thought, 18 weeks, I can get through the Civil War. Well, you can't, okay? I could take that class and probably do a whole year and still not scratch the surface. So the Civil War is a topic that I think a lot of people have an interest in. Number two, the Civil War is a period of great change in the United States. It's one of those defining moments in American history. And there's just a handful of those defining moments. The Civil War, World War II, defining moment in American history. And to me, it's fascinating. My interest in the Civil War started when I found out that I had a relative, my great-grandfather, who had served in the Civil War, and he had served in the Union Army. You never know what's coming when you say that. He'd served in the Union Army. He was from down in Missouri, down around Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and my great-great-uncle had served on the Confederate side. They were actually neighbors. They were separated by 5 miles. My grandfather serves in the Union Army. Great-uncle serves in the Confederate Army. So doing some research on him got me interested in the Civil War. And I've kind of fallen in love with that topic ever since. Also, before I forget, I have some prints up here. If anybody's interested, these are Mort Kunstler prints. They're excellent, excellent Civil War pictures. And if anybody would like to have them, they're over there on the corner of the table. Feel free to go through and help yourself. I've really got probably 100 of those things, so if you'd like to have one, feel free to take one. If you will, look at your outline. Illinois played a significant role in the Civil War. In addition to the 4th largest number of troops contributed to the Union Army, Illinois also provided horses and mules, which were vital for the war effort. Factories, mostly in the northern part of the state, produced military equipment. Our farmers in Illinois provided corn, wheat for the Union Army. Bricks, that sound like, okay, bricks are really important. They were for fortifications. We supplied lumber. Also, forward staging areas, especially down in the Cairo, Illinois area, was vital to the Union war effort up and down the Mississippi River. We had ships built down in Mound City in southern Illinois. And then, of course, the area of military and political leadership. Missouri also played a significant role, but for other reasons. Missouri was a border slave state which did not secede. So as a result of that, Missouri was literally torn between the two sides. If you go to western Missouri, that area was torn by fighting, and I'm going to mention that a little bit later on. Bloody Missouri, and if you've ever seen the movie The Outlaw Josie Wales with Clint Eastwood, that's an excellent film that depicts that period of time in this particular area of Missouri, and I highly recommend you watching it because it's a very sad situation in Missouri. Okay, that fighting left thousands of people dead and homeless, and most of them were civilians. I'd like to talk a little bit about Illinois first. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You don't have to raise your hand, just ask and we'll try and answer it. The Prairie State provided 256,297 troops to the Union armies. That was the 4th largest number behind New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. And the way that this worked is that each state, they had the population of each state, and the state was then required to provide a certain number of troops depending upon your state population. And Illinois had the 4th largest population, so therefore we had to provide the 4th largest number of troops. The next point is very important. Illinoisans were very proud of the fact that only 3,500 of this 260,000 were actually drafted. Being drafted back then had a stigma about it, a negative stigma, and Illinoisans were very proud of the fact